I'll kind of just jump in and start off with quality of life updates. So what we have is just to start off, it's mostly raffle focused, just because a lot of our efforts have just been geared towards kind of improving that system. I'll say like on the front end side, improving quality of life, within that actual tool. For the most part, everything else has kind of been um, pretty pretty like status quo. But for dens, Mun's had the suggestion to throw out, and I think some people have mentioned it before, but I think we just had like a little bit of time to kind of work on some front end things, and so had requested a way to distinguish a den that has a unique room associated to it. Of course, outside of the one of ones that we have, including the Friends and Foes den that's in there, the Burger Shack. And so we added in a sash or banner or whatever you want to call it that just shows the word unique with an orange color to the background of that. And hopefully that helps with making selections for missions. I know it certainly has helped me. It's been one of those things where, I keep track of which dens might have unique rooms and such, but am not perfect. Have definitely had issues in the past, but hopefully this helps people to kind of identify those. And I think it's pretty awesome, super lightweight to kind of throw out there, and definitely helpful for people selecting for missions. So shout out for the suggestion. Um, and then kind of jumping into raffles as a whole, bunch of updates. First off, you have the 12-hour duration minimum, and I actually noticed that I have that in here twice. I think it's pretty awesome. We actually had looked at some data after we had created the 12-hour option, and it looks to be aligning with the same, like similar data that we see for a 24-hour period with regard to buying history and percentages and kind of expectations for those particular endings around, percentage sellout compared to floor price and all that fun stuff. So it just adds a different level of risk hedge to people that are running raffles, as you're not exposed to the price volatility of that associated collection for that long of a period of time. Um, it's very interesting because I still think like the 24-hour period could be like more beneficial for the most part, as if a collection moves in one direction in that period, odds are it's going to be like a sharper move or a larger move in a 24-hour period compared to 12. So you have kind of a better shot if you're kind of expecting the value to kind of increase at the same time of selling out of those. So just something that I've noticed and I've talked to some people about it and the game theory associated and all that fun stuff. But anyway, I digress. 12-hour period is kind of the duration, it's the minimum duration. You can still go as long as you want beyond that. And it looks as though the data on it seems pretty healthy. We also did do an update for the homepage for raffles, updates periodically. So you'll see if you just go to raffles.famousboxes.com and you're on that homepage, you'll see live when tickets are being bought from raffles. You don't have to jump into the raffle or refresh the page. It should just continuously update. So as tickets are getting bought, the price should change, or the amount of tickets should change directly on the homepage. So that should help people that are looking to buy tickets from those cards. We're trying to basically improve that experience as best as possible on the homepage. We do still recommend like doing due diligence on buyers, especially if it's someone new you're not following, just to kind of look into their history and just kind of get an idea for who they are, especially if the total ticket value, the TTV value you see, is significantly higher than the floor price. Um, Usually just kind of red flags to kind of check out. And it really depends again too on like what's actually being raffled, right? If it's a one of that collection, or even a shout out to the Utes Nouns, they have a raffle going on right now. That's already starting off like floor prices, I think 4x or pretty close to 4x the floor. So, total ticket value should at minimum be 4x to break even, right? And then anything beyond that, they're really looking right now for this first one to be like a sizable fundraise for them, as everything is donated to the Utes Nouns DAO or treasury, if you will. But that's a pretty huge update for those that are in raffle. You can update the pricing and supply for tickets on raffles with 0 tickets sold. There does become a short buffer period for that. That way, if something does change, it doesn't automatically have someone that's on the page that hasn't refreshed it to purchase tickets for either an increase or decrease price. And the main reason for it, of course, is so that people don't exploit it, right? If I set up I don't know, let's say Utes raffle because those are really, really popular. Tickets are 1 sol or 3 sol, seems to be kind of the range for them. And I bump it up to 100 sol. It's not going to automatically be if someone's going to buy a ticket for 1 sol, they automatically buy it for 100 if they have that much sol in their wallet. There will be a buffer period before that takes place, and it'll actually like reject your transaction if you go to do it, and it's in that buffer period. So just a heads up for that. I think it's a really big improvement as well for people that run a lot of raffles and want to do modifications and try to find the right pricing for it. So hopefully that's a help for people. I've gotten good feedback for it. But overall, I think a pretty solid update there as well. And I mentioned that. And the last piece, which I think is one of the more important pieces on this, for those of you that are in raffles or creating raffles, the Discord linking you have to have that to show at a higher priority. And what that really means is like if you picture the full stack of raffles, there's really kind of two. I mean, it's really one large stack, but you have people that have a staked TFF or FFF, or it's on a mission before they start the raffle. That automatically goes into like the highest bucket area, which is featured. Within that bucket of featured, you have kind of different ranks, and it's agnostic between if you have either Twitter or Discord linked. So it's at the very bottom, it's no Twitter, no Discord. Then it's the mix between Discord and Twitter, if you have one or the other. And then at the highest priority, so in a normal order, if you were to scroll through that book, it's people that have Twitter and Discord linked. And it's for several reasons. It also does require you to have Discord having 2FA enabled or two-factor authentication. Again, it's really to reduce the amount of scams and the efforts and such that people kind of put forth into these scam raffles that they're trying to run. It really has cut back a lot on that bullshit, which is good, and kind of making our system healthier, in my opinion, for raffles as a whole. But people have kind of given us stuff about it before, and it really is based off of feedback that we've gotten. We see it as a big improvement. If it ever becomes too much an amount of friction between getting new rafflers into raffle, we'll ebb and flow with it. We'll try and figure out like what makes the most sense. We'll get feedback from Raffler DAO or people that are very active in the raffle side, and we'll do the best we can to improve as much of it as possible. But as it stands, it's been working quite well, and that did take effect on Thursday to have the highest priority set for both Twitter and Discord. We've had people complain and holler and all that stuff at us, and it's perfectly fine. More than happy to defend and field that. But yeah, as it stands right now, if you're creating raffles, make sure you have Discord and Twitter linked. And Twitter can't be less than a month old. Discord has to have 2FA enabled. And really outside of that, it's just general history and things. And there's a lot of red flags, and I won't digress too much on the raffle side, but our main goal is to kind of improve that system going forward. As it's definitely one of the more used utilities really of what we have right now in the space, or tools, or whatever you want to consider it. Um, and then the last point in here is on the Raffler DAO, the bi-weekly or bi-weekly, bi-monthly raffles. So we're actually making them bi-monthly, so I'll change up the terminology for that going forward. But the main goal is to do it at the middle of the month. So the last one we did the drawing on the 16th. The volume counted up to the 15th, but this one we are doing the drawing on the 1st, which we'll do that. I'll do that personally at 11 a.m. EST. So I just grabbed the time for it, but the time is reflective in your time zone in our announcements. If you want to see what time that is for you. And I will have an updated list of prizes. Um, I'll give the updated list of prizes probably on the 31st, but that's not going to include all the volume. There's probably going to still be a little bit more at the end. So we'll figure out how close we are to like rounding up, if you will. And I might just buy whatever the next highest prize would end up being for it. But as it stands right now, I know we have a Ute in there. I think we have an Ovalo and a Lily and I think a TFF. I think those are the four that we've like kind of started with based off of volume. But of course, we're going to add more to it. That might be like I think the first half of the bi-monthly. So I could kind of expect the pool to grow by that much, and maybe I'll try and get something bigger than a Ute if the volume counts for it. So just want to throw that out there. But again, updated prize pool that will go out the 31st, most likely in Raffle or DAO. I'll post about it too um, on Wednesday, but I think Wednesday is the first. So, um, so I'll also do the drawing basically the same time as we're posting out our announcements for that. And then this is the second set of announcements, or the last bit of it, if you will. But missions are live. This is the full list of missions. I won't kind of read through it. I'll leave it up here if you want to read through it. I think that's the more convenient thing about me putting this together in a bullet form fashion. Hopefully seems fairly readable for you guys, and I think you can zoom in on it too, which is nice. And then I was surprised that the Safari Hat raid, last I checked, there were still 4 spots left in it. Um, Let me see if that has changed. Yep, there's still 4 spots. So, um, very surprised that that didn't fill up quicker than it has, but so be it. We made 125 slots for this one. It's the first time that we've expanded it beyond 100. Really was just based off of like some feedback in general from a bunch of people, but we also are taking into consideration more people that are either buying friends and foes or like redeeming gems like blue green or adding into Bao Chow's, knowing that the friends and foes family is growing at the same time. So we're just trying to accommodate more people to it. I can't guarantee that we're going to keep expanding it or keep it at 125. This is kind of more so an experiment, but just very curious to see when this does fill up because I'm surprised that it's taken as long as it has. And then what our plan is going to be for the next raid. But it's Safari Hat, so if you have a Safari Hat or a Fox that is eligible to go on the raid, definitely would suggest throwing it in there. Probably one of the more controversial um, updates that we've been kind of alluding to or pointing out. And again, I mentioned earlier on in our chat here that we'll have a better plan or putting out next weekend. So just keep an eye out for that. Again, it's going to give some more of a heads up prior to us actually enacting it. But for general starters, we did add in the ability to get rare chests from regular chests. It's 0.5%. I know I mentioned it last week. I'll mention it this week, and then I'll probably cut it out from my announcements. But if you're interested, you have a chance of getting a rare chest, which is pretty fun. And then what we're planning on doing is changing up the structure associated with chest rewards for foxes, and it's just going to enable us to ramp it up more for people that are participating and leveling up foxes and getting tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 upgrades and then beyond. I think the one piece that we not necessarily have struggled with, but have had to kind of adapt over time is adjusting the rewards for foxes based off of what we've been bringing in as a project. Now, for I have Degen Fat Cat, so I'll use him as an example. But for a project like DGen Fat Cats or DGen Coin Flip, depending on how much you know about their history, they set up their payouts in a structure that they pay out per week. They have a whole thing associated to it. If you own one, you can check out their Discord and kind of see how they post their affiliate kickbacks or however they refer to it as. We're a bit different because of us wanting to kind of stay in this more, we'll call it arcade style, if you will, reward system. And so we set it up to be more of a randomized reward. It's not guaranteed. Technically, I mean, if people don't open chests, like they don't get any kind of reward, right? Which I think is kind of more so like the point that we've kind of stayed with for a project. And over time, at least for the past few months, the income side for Foxes, primarily due to raffle, has far exceeded the way in which we were pushing rewards out to holders. But at the same time, we also are I'll say building up like our own war chest for our DAO treasury to be able to expand and grow and have opportunities that we haven't had yet because we don't have investors backing us. We're completely bootstrapped. We've never had external investment into us, which is quite fun. So it's a long way of me saying that I'll say, done our best so far to try to balance that and improve the rewards. I think we've actually gone to the point of bumping the amount of soul in chests by, I believe, 200%, if not more than that, because we doubled it and then doubled it. So it might be 400% from what it was, I'll say, pre-raffles, if you will. And I know that there are just like a lot of outstanding chests. I believe it's somewhere to the tune of 2,000 to 3,000 chests that are outstanding. And in order for us to like kind of get to a system that is more scalable, and that way we can kind of have, I would say, more fixed rewards in a sense that we don't have to change the amount of soul in the chests themselves. We're basically going to switch from the current chest to a new chest model, and so we're not going to use the same chests that are in existence. And the main challenge with going to another chest, like a transition period, if you will, is trying to maintain multiple chests and drop rates and things along those lines. Like kind of our UI would get clunky and things like that. So we'll maybe have like a little bit of a better plan associated where there might be like some kind of a way of converting or something along those lines. I don't want to promise anything for it. The easiest way for us is just to replace, and that's kind of our general strategy for right now. So that's why, at least in our announcement that we put out today, that on the 16th, we're going to replace them for a different chest. So the ones that you have essentially won't have value, if you will. So we're just trying to get people between now and then to claim them if you have them, sell them if you want to, really kind of do whatever you want with those chests based off of kind of your current options. Um, and I mean, it's giving, I mean, two plus weeks from now. The main way of looking at it is we were looking at replacing the chests on the 18th with the new style
Yeah,
chests.
sometimes
So for
some
fuck, yeah, I think that does seem to have helped. But yeah. So that's kind of like the general strategy. So I'm sorry, I was talking about the chests. So the current chests as they are, they'll still be rewarded for missions that end on the 11th. There is a chance that people can run missions until the 15th. So we're given like kind of that 24-hour period after you get the chests, if you have missions that run till the 15th, to be able to claim them by the 16th, and then the 18th would be the plan for rolling out like the new chests to missions that start that week before. So just to kind of throw it out there, what the date of the 16th actually means is because it's a random Thursday. Again, it could be based off of missions that started the week prior to and ended, or started by the 9th, if you will. So missions that started from the 5th to the 9th and then run until the 15th to be able to get those chests and claim them. So that's where the date comes from. More than happy to field questions on it too if people have some. And kind of go from there. And then the last piece that I have, and probably should have just gotten rid of the actual hyperlink in here, but we do have our January Foxy Famous Fox holder only raffle, if you will. It includes famous foxes, transdimensional foxes, and friends and foes within the set of creators for who can purchase tickets. It did 10K tickets, 1,000 Foxy apiece. Um, I'm not sure actually where we stand on how many have sold, but I do have it up, so I can check it. Looks like we've got a 760-ish tickets sold, so not too bad for opening day. It's got one tenth of them sold. But prize pools over 1,000 sold prizes, 5 FFFs, 5 TFFs. Let's see other big ones in here. We've got DGen Ape, we've got some portals, some geckos, um, Squirrel Syndicates, we've got a couple pilots, some lilies which are popular. We got a Gods, Klano, which I know are devs' favorites. A couple of Fat Cats, Jambos, Ovalo, Helions, Jelly Dogs, and then OK Bear and Immortals. So pretty solid pool. We'll still have Foxy in there. Probably a couple other prizes that we want to throw in from our ecosystem, but should overall be a pretty solid pool of prizes for folks. So definitely looking up for it. Um, and yeah, the link for the raffle itself you can grab from our announcements. I wouldn't recommend trying to screenshot this and type it in. That would be awful. It's gonna be a lot easier going through our DAO or through the announcement section in our. Um, but yeah, I'll open it up to questions. I'm just checking through. I don't see anything in DAO VC, so if anybody has anything and wants to come on the mic while I'm loading in, or wants to shoot me something over.
There's a coin ride that floats around the room. That's a good time.
A
Just got to take
coin,
the coin elevator and jump on the buildings.
a coin
Little,
ride.
little,
That's fun.
yeah, a little parkour
Knocking is
action.
very, very hard. Don't let him fool you. It's very hard.
Wait,
So easy.
what was hard?
Getting on the coin, I'm guessing he's talking about.
I got you. I was gonna
You just,
ask
you just jump.
if it's
The
similar
big
to the
foxes get caught in the lip, though.
oh, do they?
No, way easier than the Brocklet.
Well, the Bronco was impossible, so
Yeah, it's easy if
anything's
you're
More
under
people
40
completed.
with good reflex.
anything's easier than the Bronco. It's roughly 20 minutes. Funny. I'm just going through. I don't really see any pings, which I'm kind of surprised by. I know Alkine had pinged me, but we are talking about raffle things, so.
Fucking Fox, man.
Alright, there we go. Hold on.
Oh, that was funny about Infused earlier. During like the official Portals meeting room, we're all watching this like beautiful presentation they put together, and all of a sudden this giant orange thing appears like Godzilla in front of the screen. They can't figure out what it is. Turns out it's Infused joining the room.
That's amazing.
I apologize. I was invisible on my screen, so I didn't even know.
Yeah, they were on the microphone trying to figure out who was messing with the room.
How did Infused, if you don't mind me asking, how did your model get that jacked up?
Okay, so my buddy uses Maya for his
Okay.
3D rendering,
Yep.
and he completely redid the beard so the mustache is actually distinguishable from it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess his Maya didn't have an option to export it as a GLB file, which only Portal supports. So when I opened it in Blender, it was just a massive, gigantic, sideways laying fox next to the model. So I have no idea.
That is absolutely incredible. I'm so happy you told us that story. I know
I didn't
Brink can
realize
feel
it
your
was so
pain. I
flashy.
know Brink's been messing around a lot with 3D things. What program are you using to mess around with them? Is it Blender, right?
Yeah, Blender's what I'm using for optimizing and all that.
Yeah. But yeah, I know the only reason why I know of Maya is like my previous job. We had a co-op that we gave him. Like his like main responsibility was to recreate a windmill powered turbine in Maya. Like that was his for like 6 months. Like that was his goal, which was just dumb. But yeah, so I'll say like borderline not familiar at all with Maya, but that just sounds hilarious to me. I know too, in Microsoft Paint they have a 3D version of it. You can open up your Fox, but I think it destroys a skeleton if I'm not wrong. Um, so like my Fox head was separate, or the helmet was separate from the rest of it, which was a very interesting thing to see on Paint 3D. Let's
Yeah,
see.
I'm trying to figure out how to open the file that he corrected and sent me in Blender and try to like do that myself without breaking everything. So I apologize.
Well, did he send you over a GLB file?
He sent me the FBX, which I can import into Blender. So I'm just trying to see why like the skeleton is separate from like
Hmm.
the skin he did.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not much help there from the 3D side, so I don't know if Brink is might be interested in messing with FBXs. Okay, the question and comment in here from Robert is the raffle at every 100 souls spent. Oh, you raffle, you get tickets? No, Robert. So that we have two. There's two like separate raffles. We've got what I term in here the bi-weekly, but really it's technically bi-monthly raffle, and that's a free raffle. It's based off of participation in raffles. For every 100 soul worth of raffles sold, you get one ticket. For every 100 soul worth of raffles bought, you get three tickets for that. And again, that's free entry. Prize pool for that should be close to anywhere between 400 to 600 soul, I think, based off of volume. I think we've already gotten 160-ish soul worth of prizes, if not more. Um, but yeah, that's the bi-monthly. The one that's pictured here, that's our famous Fox holder only, or technically just like as a whole, famous Fox is holder only. Includes friends and foes, TFFs and FFFs, and it costs Foxy to enter into. And prize pool 1,000-ish, 1,000 plus soul for ours compared. So give or take, what, 14 to 1,600 soul worth of prizes for the raffles. And that doesn't include our first bi-monthly that we did in January as well. You are welcome. Let's see, an alpha. Frank, question when lending. Yeah, I don't know if we have a. Oh, we got Frank D Gods in here. I didn't realize he was in here. Is he in our VC? I don't think he's in our VC. Is he in
Yo,
here? Yeah, he is in here. There he is. Soon. I'll say soon. I don't think we have a specific date. Foxy Dev got back yesterday from some travels, so I know we have most of it built out, if not, and should be pretty exciting to launch it. Are you interested? Are you curious about it?
well, I think it's one of the more interesting like NFT based products in the game. Like it changes market dynamics. It's super interesting. So whenever you guys do stuff, it always ends up being like the best iteration of whatever is out there. So I'm just excited to see your take on it.
Yeah, no, I think that sounds good. Are there other models? I mean, I don't know if you guys are looking at doing anything with Dust Labs or whatnot. Are there any models that you guys are planning on trying to
Nah,
do
nah, it's
anything
not
with?
our thing. We're just like B2B, like
Yeah.
boring shit. Like it's just cool. Like as a fan of NFTs, like it's just, dude. I just see these people go so hard on these Sharkify loans, and it's just fun to watch. So excited to see it.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm a decent lender, and I'm not gonna say I'm a big lender compared to some of these other people, but I like Sharky. I like the concept that they've kind of created there. Fract, I think, is a little bit of a different model, where I also kind of just throw some liquid just because the earn is at least higher than compared to staking it into like Meridate, although I have some of that too. Kind of sprinkle it within the NFT DeFi side, if you will, but yeah, I'm very eager and interested. I think, our iteration on it, I think will breed a little bit more innovation for others that I think have just kind of been like the option just because. And I think that's kind of what we do for some of the tools that we really do create is that it kind of pushes others to, I would say adapt and maybe try to make better or to improve what they've already created, which I think is quite helpful.
I don't know. Whenever you guys launch stuff, it's always like just the best version of whatever that thing is. No, I just saw some guy today put on like a sports bet. He took a loan out on his DGOD and then like put all of it on a sports bet and he lost. And so
Oh
he's
man,
gonna lose that
that
DGOD. Yeah.
see that's the downside to it. Like that for me, actually. I mean, I'll digress for like a second here. When Pawn Shop Nomies came out, I don't know how many folks had remembered when they first came out. They were looking at onboarding projects to their platform, and I was not a fan at the beginning for many reasons. But one of the things, I believe it was like via Spaces, or might have just been a call that I had with like their team, but I kind of was just like, why would somebody take a loan out on your platform? And like their main answer was like, oh, so they can get into the next DGen mint and make 10x off of it. I'm just like, that is a terrible response to have because how many times I mean, first off, DGen mints, but mints 10x or 5x or 2x. It's not that common to be a good response as to why somebody should take a loan out, especially if they're taking out like a 30 to 40 to 50% Florida to value ratio on a loan. Like it's just crazy to me to have that as an option.
No, but it's crazy, but that's why it's so perfect for NFTs. Like the amount of guys that like there's a few guys that have come in recently and they just only buy by like providing fucking capital for loans, and then like people just default all the fucking time. It's wild.
I know I had a Solskin SMB that paid back today. I was borderline hoping they would default on it, but I knew they wouldn't. There's no sense on Sharky. It was like a 218 Sol loan on a Solskin SMB, at which floor is probably minimum 600. Um, so yeah, I totally get that.
Awesome, yeah. We can move on. I had to
Yeah, of
ask.
course. No, 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 of course. I was gonna say, I mean, that basically, I mean, I know I've run through my list, so I mean, we usually kind of just open it up to other questions that people have, and then I don't know if you're in our portals, we do a randomized board and pick some winners and give some chest rewards out, so people sometimes get sold just for coming to VC.
I'm like shirtless in my bed right now, so I mean, I have not I'm on my phone, so I don't know if I
Nah,
can
you're
join it
good.
from there.
You're
But
good.
no, dude, it looks sick. I'm seeing the screenshots in the chat. It looks wild. Let's
Yeah,
go.
Bring's done a fantastic job. He's our resident portals decorator amongst other things. And you've made what,
Oh
like
yeah, no, I
the
know
bronze
about
plate
Brink.
meets?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he's a fucking legend.
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, he's the best.
yeah. It's hilarious. Oh wait, was I think Hamster asked a question. It was advisors or foxes aside from Gway and Bronk. Yeah, no, so I'll throw that out there as kind of I'll call it a meme if you will. But there was one day, oh, I don't know, it was what like Wednesday or something like that this week, where I was like, oh well, I mean, since everybody in the community contributes and sends suggestions and based off of whatever the feedback is that people give us, I mean, they're basically advisors. So I'm like, all right, everyone that owns a famous fox, I mean, technically, you probably could put them into TFFs and friends and foes. You're technically advisors for, famous fox federation. And so Gwei decided to add on to the meme of posting about it on Twitter. She asked Dev for a screenshot that like said "Welcome Gwei" or something like that. It was just hilarious, and people were just commenting on it and kind of like blowing it up. So technically, yes, Hamster, you too are an advisor for foxes.
This is the best Fox space ever. We all just got promotions.
Yeah, you guys all just got promotions. Like,
We're all
congratulations.
advisors. I'm running to the bio as we speak.
There you go. Excessive Goblin asks, what's first rebalance or trait upgrades for TFFs? You know what? That is a really good question. I'm going to say they're going to be very close to each other. I think we'll have the infra set up for the chest rebalance first, um, and then trait upgrades. But honestly, I think we probably have most of the stuff in play as well for the trait upgrades, so it's going to be really close together. Because as it stands, I guess I might as well give an update on that too. The artwork, I believe, is officially done, right, Frank? I don't think there's any other modifications that we're planning on having done for it. And there weren't very many that we had to like go back and do like slight modifications for. So I think everything for T1 TFS should be in order, which is exciting. All right, I don't think if there's no other questions, I'll go ahead and I'll stop our recording here. I know I normally record these, throw them up on YouTube.